Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com. Today's topic: Fisherman inhaled by a whale. Yeah. Scripture reference is out of Jonah 2, verse 10. And the Lord spoke to the fish, and it vomited Jonah out upon the dry land. So, yes, the fish in the Hebrew, or spewed, or vomited out Jonah, or as stated in the King James Version, vomiteth. Sounds very sophisticated when the fish vomiteth out Jonah. At any rate, Provincetown, Massachusetts, a local lobster fisherman, Michael Packard, was gulped by a humpback whale while collecting lobsters on a routine dive. As Packard stated, I felt a huge bump and everything went dark. I realized, oh my God, I'm in a whale's mouth and he's trying to swallow me. And I thought to myself, okay, this is it. I'm gonna die. So, not a good feeling for this poor guy. And then he went on to say, I just got thrown in the air and landed in the water. I was free and I floated there. I couldn't believe I'm here to tell it. So, Packard escaped, and there he is in the hospital bed with only a few bruises and no broken bones. He estimates he was inside of the whale's mouth for about 30 seconds. He was released from the hospital on the same day, and Packard was rescued by his shipmate Josiah Mayo, who witnessed the whale spitting out his captain. How'd you like to have been that guy sitting there on the boat and you see this whale surface and you see your buddy just vomited out of his mouth back into the water? I mean, what a story. It's pretty wild is all you can say about it. Now, scientific experts have weighed in on the incident, and it is ridiculously rare for a human to be eaten by a whale. And according to Peter Corcoran, a senior scientist at the New England Aquarium, says it is a 1 in a trillion, that's T with trillion, proposition of being eaten by a whale for a human to be eaten by a whale. Well, we can now report of at least 3 incidents, and they all live to tell about it. So we got this guy. We have Michael Packard. This happened, I believe, back in March of 2019. I saw this story. Fishy Fable. It's a video of a guy. They got video of it. In fact, I think that's him right there. If you look, that's the person inside of a whale's mouth. And they got video of this guy getting spit out, vomited out, whatever you want to call it. You know, his butt's hanging out of there. So it's happened. That's twice, plus Jonah, that this has occurred. And Jesus confirms the reality. And we're just talking, I'm not going to get into any spiritual aspects of this. And 3 days, 3 nights, you know, we're talking about the resurrection. But Jesus confirms the reality of a fish swallowing a man whole and living to tell about it. And as far as Christ is concerned, this is historical fact. Now, I know some of you folks are sitting out there, you critics. Well, it was a whale, therefore it wasn't a fish. And, you know, that's not possible. And that's not true. Well, you know, first of all, that's a man-made thing. If it's in the ocean and it's swimming around, God considers it a fish. And the idea that the whale is a mammal is a man-made, man-created identification system. It has nothing to do with how God sees it. God sees an animal that he created in the ocean, in the water, and he considers it a fish. So there's that. And again, Jesus confirms that it's, and going back to that does not negate the fact that a man was taken into the mouth or the belly of a fish or a whale or whatever. I mean, that does nothing to distract from the reality that it is very likely, very possible it has happened. And we've documented it here on 3 different occasions. We had the guy in Massachusetts within the week, we had this guy. I don't know where this story was, but we could find out that. But there's video evidence of this guy getting swallowed by a whale. And then we know Jonah was swallowed by a whale. And again, Jesus confirms the reality of a fish swallowing a man whole. We're going to go to, and it's several places, but we'll go to Matthew 12, verses 39 and 40. But he answered them, he being Jesus, an evil and adulterous generation seeks for a sign, but no sign will be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. For just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. And so, the critic doesn't stop. It's not enough to take Jesus's word for it or anybody's word for it or these evidences of this event happening, because the critic, this is just some little fairy tale, a made up book of stories, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's happened. And the critic will ask, how can a man survive 3 days and 3 nights inside of a fish or a whale or whatever? And one, God provides. There's plenty of provision and chum inside the stomach of the creature. It may not have been 5-star dining, but there was likely piles of food for Jonah as well as the host fish or whale. Jonah just happened to be in there with all that stuff. And we'll close with Jonah 1, verse 17. And the Lord appointed a great fish to swallow up Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. So to the critic out there, this can't possibly happen. There's no way this is over the top. And, in the modern day critic, this is 1 in a trillion. Well, we got 3 different verifications that this is very possible. And the funny thing about it is it points to the fact that Jesus was resurrected. He overcame death and he is alive. So the fact that a man can be swallowed by a whale or swallowed by a fish and live to tell about it, cheat death, resurrected in a sense, thought he was gone, points to life, points to resurrection, points to Christ, died, buried, 3 days, resurrected, rose from the dead on the 3rd day. That's the issue. And that's what's important. But don't kid yourself. It is real. It did happen. And take a look at it. It says what it says. Anyway, appreciate you guys following along. If you are interested in subscribing to the blog, fill in your email address right here. Hit subscribe. We'll send you a notification every time we put out a new post. Also, this will be categorized under, this is a trend update. Nothing fancy here. Probably some keywords. We got Jonah, Jesus Christ, humpback whale fish, Michael Packard, Provincetown, Massachusetts. 3 days, 3 nights. So anyway, appreciate you guys following along. Wishing you a great day. Take care. Bye.